Yo, my slimes. So, this week will be the 5-year anniversary of Fire Emblem Fates in the States. The release of Fire Emblem Fates in North America, at least. So, I kind of thought I would dedicate a week to this channel, to the game. At least, like, a couple videos, I guess, dedicated to the game. So, because it kind of means a lot to me. And I know what you're saying. Bossimo, why do you like Fire Emblem Fates so much? And that is something I would like to talk about today. We'll get into later. So, let's start with the Bossimo Fire Emblem fan origin story. So, yeah, this game was my first Fire Emblem game, technically, yeah. Like most people, they got into like most people, they hear about Fire Emblem from Smash. I mean, Fire Emblem and Smash go together like, I don't fucking know, ketchup and honey, I guess. I don't know. Ketchup and honey, I guess. But, yeah, I heard about the series, and one of my friends was, like, really obsessed with Fire Emblem Awakening when it first came out. And so I remember seeing the trailer for Fire Emblem Fates from, like, 2015, January, I believe. And I was like, oh, cool. And I kind of forgot about it. And then later that year, Corrin got announced for Smash Bros. And when I saw Corrin, I was assuming they were like this weird, obscure third-party character. I was like, holy shit, they look cool as hell. And then I later got introduced to this group chat on Instagram back when I used it. And the group was really obsessed with Fire Emblem. And I kind of played along for some reason. Like, I never played a Fire Emblem game until then. I was just like, oh yeah, I like Fire Emblem. What's a Master Seal? I don't know what that is. I forgot. And so, they were like, oh, we're so excited for Fire Emblem Fates to come out. I was like, okay, I'll get that. And then I got it later, around like March of 2016. And the rest was history. But there is first thing I will confess, which may come as a shock to people. Technically, I have only beaten one route of Fire Emblem Fates, and that route is Revelation. So, I bought Birthright, and I think, and Birthright okay. So I bought Birthright first. You see, I bought Revelation because you could get all the characters. And this is what I like. You see, one of the main reasons I like Fire Emblem Fates is the large cast of characters. They're not all hitters. They're not these whole fucking, I don't know, Shakespearean works of art, but they're fun. And I think there are some good characters. And that is one of the main things of what really made me enjoy Fire Emblem Fates was the characters. You see, with Conquest, which is the one I didn't have, I didn't care about like the maps and shit. I only cared about those characters that I'm missing out on. So I skipped out on Conquest. I didn't beat Birthright. I've only made it to like chapter 22, I believe, with Birthright. And I went straight to Fire Emblem Fates Revelation, which, in case you don't know, Revelation is a highly despised game in the community, but I didn't care about the maps and all that that's in the story. I only cared about getting the full package of like all the most of the 60 characters. something we'll get into later, I think. And so basically what I'm saying is what I like about the modern Fire Emblem games and why I kind of prefer the modern games compared to the older ones is the quote-unquote sandbox aspects. One of my favorite things to do in games like Awakening and Fates and Echoes is grind for the supports. I just really like the whole like fucking infinite play. I played a lot of skirmish maps, and I like reading the supports. Even now, occasionally, sometimes I'll boot up Fire Emblem Fates and kind of read a couple supports and like grind them, because I think they're pretty easy. They're pretty easy in the Awakening and Fates, and yeah. It's just a nice thing to come back to it every once in a while and like, hey. I think one of the commonly agreed aspects that you can praise is the music. I would say that the music of Fire Emblem Fates is like my favorite video game soundtrack of all time in terms of like tracks I still commonly listen to. I just really like the chill, atmospheric ambiance, if you could say it. I really like the traditional instruments and how they kind of contrast depending on the game, Birthright or Conquest. Like everybody knows, Hoshido is Japan, feudal Japan, and Nor is just medieval Europe, and Vala is just like whatever. And I kind of wish there were more songs like the ones from Awakening and Fates. I like. Don't get me wrong, the Three Houses soundtrack is fire, but I wish they had tracks that sounded like Fates and Awakening. Anyways, but as I was going with like the story, I mean my memories with the game. This was around middle school, which is one of the main aspects of why I like Fire Emblem Fates, because everybody, I guess it's like a saying, or it's like, if you like this thing in like 7th grade, it'll stick with you forever. If you were a Twilight fan, you're probably like a Twilight fan for life, or a Warriors Cats fan, or at least, I don't know, or like a fucking Harry Potter, but let's not talk about Harry Potter. Those things kind of stick with you, and it's like forever embedded in your identity. That is my middle school thing, along with other stuff. But most of my like 7th grade was surrounded by Fire Emblem Fates, and being with the community and all the funny 2016 Fire Emblem jokes like Takumi and how he looks like a pineapple and how he's responsible for everything wrong with the world. Just a bunch of great things. I don't know. It was really the hype of most games. You know, it was a really nice hype train, I guess. And you see, and I don't know, it's like a really nice hype train, I guess, but that's the thing. You see, it wasn't until like 2 years later, so like 2018, and obviously around that time of 2016, I wasn't well too versed in like the main Fire Emblem community, and I didn't know people hated this game. I didn't know people hated that game until like 2 years later, on like 2018, when I actually like started going with like the mainstream community. I was like, what? People hate this game? That's impossible. How? Like I said, I didn't really view the story as anything important or anything good, because it was my first Fire Emblem game and I wasn't really indulged with anything, but I think the story quality of Fire Emblem games as a whole is like it's topic for a different day. But I mainly want to focus on the positive aspects, and then I'll spend like another couple minutes later just dragging on it. And now it's time to kind of address the elephant in the room. Bosimo, if you're talking about how much you love Fire Emblem Fates for the characters, then who are your favorites? And well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to tell you my favorites and why I like them. So, obviously, I am kind of biased towards Birthright. I feel like Birthright is kind of neglected in the main thing of Fire Emblem games. Well, and I know it might sound hypocritical considering I haven't beat the game, nor have played it since its release. But I kind of prefer Birthright to Conquest. Oh, and I also haven't played Conquest, but I am playing through Conquest right now. I'm on like chapter 8. Chapter 9. I'm almost to chapter 10. Oh no. But I'm having fun with it right now, but I just like Birthright because of the characters. Anyways, like I said, my favorite characters from the Hoshido side are Saizo. I think Saizo is like an underrated, like, I wouldn't say well written, but I guess, I don't know. I think Saizo is like a good written character. Like I said, I think most of the Fate supports are like good to fine. There's some good ones, but most of them are kind of filler. And I really like Saizo because he isn't one of those characters that is kind of taken. I don't know. I don't really know what I like about Saizo other than his looks, of course. Other than Saizo's looks, of course. I just really like his stern personality and he's just like a very mysterious figure, and you kind of want to learn more about him and his past and all that kind of shit. And I don't know, I just really like him. I can't really describe why, but if you read his supports, he just kind of has like, he just kind of hides it because of all his fucking shit he went through with his father and his brother, and he just kind of hides it under a mask, literally. And, if you go deeper, you'll probably know. Another one I like is a Zama. Like, yes, he is an asshole, and yes, some of his supports are fucking terrible, but he's the kind of asshole I can vibe with, and he's just like a really funny character. But I can't really say much because I can't really remember much. And here is my all-time favorite character, at least in Birthright, is Caden. And you see, I love Caden. I love Caden to like bits. Cause yeah, he's just a fun, charming, he's just a fun, charming character and all that stuff. And I feel like, and I just really like his personality, and he's a character I can like extremely vibe with. And if I could like transport him to 3 houses, not because of like the writing or, and if there was a character I could like transport the three houses, it would definitely be Caden, because number one. And if there was a character that I could transport the three houses, it could be Caden, because of his positive vibes. And I feel like, considering how fucking traumatized all those kids are in three houses, I think his positive vibes would just really, really help. But that's all I can really talk about. But I guess you could talk about Rinka. I think she's just an okay character. But I just mostly like her. I like her design. She's really cool. She's kind of an okay character, I guess. I can't really say any memorable things, but yeah. And Scarlet, which is a character that has been done extremely dirty, and I'm still fucking pissed about that. And then on the north side, some of my favorite characters there is Arthur, because he's just, like I said, he's an extremely fun character. He's not that deep of a character, but I just really like that. I just really like that Captain Quark, All Might superhero type archetype. Like, it's really fun and he's funny. And I think his voice actor, Cam Clark, really does a great job, and I wish that Cam Clark would have voiced All Might in the My Hero Academia dub, but that's kind of a rare thing. Niles. I have my gripes with Niles sometimes, with his writing and his, I don't know, you know. But I just really like the sadistic, kinky shit. Even if I do think that's kind of, you know, stereotypical gay, he's still cool, and I would have sex with him. Gunter, he's kind of hot. He's a Jagan. What's more to love? And then there's also, and then the child characters, which, by the way, extremely unnecessary. That's one of the main things. Like, we'll talk about that later. But my favorites are, I love Shigure. He's like Yusuke. Shigure walked so Yusuke could run. He's voiced by Matthew Mercer. He's got blue hair with like a, I don't know, whatever you call it, a fringe, I guess. Sideburns, bangs, I think. I don't know. And he likes painting and all that shit. He just, and when Matthew Mercer sings in that one DLC, it's just beautiful. Dwyer, I kind of relate to Dwyer in a bit. Fortunately, he's kind of like that, embraces the lazy side of me, and sometimes I kind of talk like him, like I don't know. I can't impersonate him, but I kind of relate to him on like a honest level. I do kind of speak in that monotone tone sometimes that he kind of speaks in, and the whole lazy shit. I also like our child Kana. Like, they're not deep at all. They're pretty much, the entire thing is be child who likes mama, even though their child was mostly neglected. But let's get into that anyway. I just like Kana. They're cute, both of them. Siegbert has ugly ass hair, but he's kind, he's sweet. I like him. I think Soleil, if that's how you pronounce it, it's French. So fuck French. Also Soleil is another character I like. Obviously, I think Soleil deserved better writing and kind of more of that stuff with her sexuality, but she's just nice. I don't know. Oh my god. And how could I forget Benny? I fucking love Benny. He is awesome, dude. And I wish he was in Heroes. Put him in Heroes. But I feel like the characters of Fates are kind of slept on and kind of nitpicked. I think Fates is a game that's kind of like cherry-picked with all its mistakes. It's a very flawed game, I know. And I think that the maps in general do a terrible job of trying to make the characters... I can't really describe it, but I think the maps do a terrible job at making kind of establishing the characters. They just establish their main gimmick, and I can understand why people would think that they're all terrible, but I don't know. I'll defend the Fate supports. Like I said, I think most of them are fine to good. Alright, now that all the good stuff is out of the way, let's talk about what I don't like about this game to kind of show the people that I am critical of the things that I like, and that's an important thing to do, because, I don't know, makes us strive, I guess. Alright, first things first, story. I don't know how to go in depth. I don't remember much about it. You probably heard all about that before. Okay. You've heard about it before, but the world building is kind of something. So, I think I can kind of defend it by saying, so in the Japanese version, it's just, the location names are just called like Dark Kingdom and Light Kingdom. In Japanese, it's like Byakuya something, I don't know, Hikari something, I don't know. And so they're kind of nameless. And I think that kind of explains why there is no continent name. And I guess that's just something that just got lost in translation, the author's intent or something. Which is another thing that is... which is another thing. The localization controversy. It's kind of a shame that you can't really... let's have some main things. You kind of can't really change. It's weird because you can't really decipher because of obviously I don't know Japanese, so we can't really judge what has changed and what hasn't outside of a couple cases. But I think that the whole localization thing is like, I don't know, just part of like the times. The localization controversy is something else. I think it was just kind of like a thing that happened. It's kind of like bandwagon nitpicking. You can't really decide. You can't really tell. Obviously, it's kind of hard to tell what's changed and what hasn't, because I can't read Japanese other than like a couple aspects regarding Soleil and Hinata. But I don't think it would be that different considering the whole localization thing. And I guess that's whole like a Gamergate fucking debacle. Let's not get into that. It's 2021. What else did I say about the world building? Fuck. The child thing does not make any sense. I feel like you could have done it better. It's like just yeeting in a baby realm. And all that stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. I think Garen conceptually is an extremely funny villain, because the whole concubine shit that the more thing has plagued. That dude fucked so many women. It fucked his entire life over. And that concept as a villain is fucking hilarious to me. And yeah, Garen is comically evil. But I don't really know what else to talk about the game. But I'll close this off by saying that Fire Emblem may be an extremely... But I'll close this off by saying that Fire Emblem Fates may be an extremely flawed game, but I still holds a special place in my heart. And I guess you could call it like a comfort junk food game or something like that. Like when you play it after a bad day. And I think this is a lesson that you can tell anybody. It's just like what you want, as long as it's not bad or anything.